6, Punk, go.
For as clear as Drew made it that he was not happy to have me back, it was nothing in comparison to the noise generated about me by the constant thorn in my side, Seth.
Enjoy the show.
Much like Drew, Rollins had a bit of a tantrum when I walked through that curtain at Survivor Series after nearly 10 years away from WWE. I knew we were on a collision course. After Hell in a Cell, I took a little time to heal. Once I felt good, a special request from Paul Heyman led me to joining the OG Bloodline at Survivor Series to help Roman Reigns in his quest to dismantle the new Bloodline. Once that was settled, I focused solely on Seth. We were set to battle at the first Raw of 2025, and after waiting a decade for this opportunity, I certainly wasn't going to let anything go wrong. So let's go back to January 2025, the start of a new era, and beat Seth Rollins in front of the entire world.
Here we are, Punk versus Rollins, main event of Monday Night Raw, the first Raw on Netflix. This was the first Raw, that of their WWE Netflix's multi-year deal that is slowly but surely seeing Netflix acquire a lot of the WWE library from Peacock, migrated onto Netflix. So with that, this match was a good way to end their first show on top of the Pro Wrestling Legends fashion show that they do every single time they have a major show. So first of all, on Netflix, you saw plenty of legends, Jimmy Hart, Hulk Hogan, and various others. Because they do them all the time, especially when they have like big milestone episodes, anniversary episodes. Like Undertaker showed up to this, and I think he had an interaction with the Wyatt Six. I could be wrong, I'm probably wrong, but if you want to see it, it's on Netflix, go watch it. It's a good episode, if of course you can get over the Legends fashion show. But overall, the wrestling was great. I enjoyed it, and this was a fitting main event because the two of them were kind of on a collision course to face one-on-one after Punk's return at Survivor Series. Cameras, a fan, / maybe even a planted fan, because they do that. WWE, all wrestling companies do it. They will plant fans to get certain things and record various segments that they can use for like future development, or they'll just flat out take it from someone's social media feed, and that's really it. Cameras had seen Rollins visibly upset and had to be restrained during Punk's return at a Survivor Series in Chicago, because Chicago loves CM Punk. He is one of their hometown boys. And so that sort of set up the fact that these two were going to face off eventually once we can get these two to get along. The two of them, of course, have vastly different styles of their wrestling side of things. Because Punk, he's got that grounded psychology. He is if we're going to do a spot, I want it to make sense. I don't want to necessarily have a spot here for the sake of having a spot. As in, he doesn't think you should go through a car windshield without any reason, without a good reason to put the guy through the car windshield, as taking that back to his time in All Elite Wrestling when he was at All In London. Jack Perry took on, I don't even remember who he was facing, I'll be honest. Took on somebody, and I guess in their thought they wanted to, Perry was going to back body drop the guy onto a car that was on the stage and basically shatter the glass. And Punk's match was after that, so they were kind of going through it. He was talking in his match over with Samoa Joe, and he kind of said, hey, why do you want to do that? And his answer was like, because why not? Because I can. And Punk's like, that doesn't make any sense. You should at least have a reason to do the spot other than because I can. And he's like, and honestly, if it's real glass, you run the risk of injuring your opponent, which, yes, we're supposed to look like we're injuring our opponents, but we're not supposed to actually hurt them. So then, eventually, Jack Perry does the spot and kind of looks in the camera and says, oh, look, real glass. Crimea River basically saying, yeah, I did it anyway. I didn't need your stupid advice. And kind of Punk just shrugged it off. But that was the thing, is like, if there was no reason to do it, why bother doing it? And that, I will 100% say, is one of my issues with AEW, is they have a lot of high spot matches that it's like, what was the point of doing that spot? If one, it's not going to end the match, or two, it doesn't really do anything. This dude jumps off the ropes 50 times in a match. He hits all 50 of his moves. Why are you letting that guy get on the ropes anyway? Besides the fact of, oh, he's supposed to, he's a flyer. I get that. But why aren't you taking down Flyer? That is kind of one of my issues with AEW, is they run their show very loosey-goosey. The rules are a suggestion. Then that's not saying that WWE doesn't have those issues too. They do. There are many a times where I was like, we're watching WWE, TNA, even the local independent shows I go to, I'm just kind of like, why isn't the ref counting? They've been outside of the ring for like 2 minutes. And then that's just kind of one of those, you have to remind yourself, hey, suspend your disbelief. And I tried that with AEW, but I always kept coming back to the, if there's no reason for them to be.
And CM Punk to Rollins off the crossbody. Rollins, though, able to roll through.
Just amazing power and timing from Seth Rollins. We've seen it throughout his career. And now, catching CM Punk with a GTS. Punk rather fortuitously rolling all the way to the outside to safety. Although in hot pursuit now, Seth Rollins.
And Rollins limping around the ring, favoring his leg.
They sing, I hit your move. They sing my song. All of this.
And now just mocking and having his way with Punk.
Rollins has waited for this moment for far, far too long. This victory is going to be one of the sweet.
Wait a minute! Oh my goodness! Cover! Isn't it up and a kick out?
While catching Seth Rollins with his own stomp. I'm coming within a millisecond of victory here.
And Punk not done yet. Pounding away on Rollins. Frustration setting in.
I mean, years of bad blood and verbal jousts between these two are about to come to a head.
Seth able to counter GTS, looking to deliver one of his own.
Oh, and he connected.
And Punk kicks out.
Yeah, but I digress. I can go on a full rant about that later, and I honestly don't want to because it's just going to make people angry. And that's not what I try and do, but like I said, it's my opinion. But like, yeah, that's basically Punk. He's not really flashy, he's very deliberate, and that's what he does. He's very grounded psychology. But Rollins, on the other hand, is a bit of a flyer. He's very much an all-arounder. He will fly, he will take you to the ground, he will brawl with the best of them. So for him, you don't necessarily need to ground him. You just need to keep him from building any sort of momentum. If Rollins starts building his momentum up, then there's a chance he could beat you unless you can get the momentum back on your side. Now, of course, their characters, at this point in their careers, are very different. But both of them got their rise to the top by being these respective characters. Punk was always that anti-authoritarian figure. I am going to take apart the system piece by piece, whether it's by myself or whether it's with help. And I don't care how I do it. You are going to remember me because I'm going to shape this system in my image after I knock it down. Rollins, on the other hand, took his way to the top via the chameleon route, if you want to call it that. He has bounced around his characters, he has stabbed his friends in the back, he has made new friends and stabbed them in the back. He has done your very stereotypical way of getting it to the top. Make friends when you need them, and then when the time comes, cut them loose to let them sink or swim on their own, because guess what? You don't need them. They needed you more than you ever needed them. And that's sort of how Seth Rollins has done it. He's always been that type of character. You know, he stabbed the Shield in the back when they realized he wasn't going to go anywhere outside of the tag team division. When he was injured, the Authority kind of passed him by. He decided, hey, you know what? Let me apologize to the fans, get back on their good side, and then eventually turn his back on them again, and back and forth. That is all that he has done. But we beat him because we didn't let him get the momentum. And of course, this feels like it would be a good place to end it, the showcase, but that's never it. It almost never ends where it makes sense, because realistically, we got to finish that prologue match that never ended. That's going to be taken care of next time, where we will actually do the conclusion of that match. CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, WrestleMania main event. Later.